Let's Hunt is a video series with tactics, weapons, locations, and other useful tips, always around one particular animal. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Let's Hunt. Today it's actually not about one particular animal, but two. We want to go after red deer and red fox. Mostly I want to combine them because they appear in the very same places here in Hirchfelden as well as in Val-des-Bois. So I bring the shotgun. I can shoot foxes and roe deer with those. You will see where we go there is always some roe deer as well. But of course also the red foxes I can shoot with the buckshot. I can shoot red deer with the slugs. But I want to go after red deer also with the recurve bow. I bring a tree stand in case I have a place where I can mount it. If the animal is far enough away I can call it in. And I want to try the red deer stand as well. Having a look at the map here, so just roughly where I plan to go, it'll be down here in the southwest corner. There is a lot of red deer and foxes, and then go over along the southern border. We'll see how far we get, but here foxes and red deer are really in abundance, and I'm looking forward to this hunt. My starting time today is 8 o'clock. It's a good time here in the morning. If you start here at the Ritterstein Hütte, going south you will run into red fox and red deer. All over this place here around this lodge there's a lot of roe deer as well. And then if you go north you will see roe deer, wild boar. I used to hunt a lot of roe deer here. You will also see pheasants once you go out further out towards the open fields, but they can also be here in the woods. I will call in roe deer bucks because they come rather fast, but otherwise I will not bother with them. And as far as the red deer, I will look at herds. I will look at all signs actually, because many times they travel, the stags travel with the cows. So whenever there's any sign I will call them in, look at them, see if there's any good stag there. And with the red foxes I will look at the males only. I will not follow any animals unless they have a very high estimation in their weight. Of course with the fox the score is the weight, so if a track will say 10 to 15 kilograms or even 10 to 20 kilograms, those would be the foxes to go after. Otherwise I will just react to calls from them. And with the stags it's the same with the red deer. The maximum maximum weight is 240 kilograms. So any indication that it might end up being a high or a heavy bull or stag, I will go after them. But if it says it's a lightweight, then I won't bother. Of course the weight with the red deer doesn't really tell you exactly whether it's going to score high, but of course the higher the weight the higher a chance for a good score. So I've been talking for a while. I would expect some call soon from any of those animals here. And of course we wish for a red deer or red fox. I thought about making them individually, those videos for these two animals. But really, I mean, the red fox exists in Hemmeldal as well, so you could go hunt them there. But here in Hirschfelden as well as in Val-des-Bois, whenever you hunt those, you will immediately run into the others as well, inevitably. So I thought, why not combine them, and whatever we find we will go after, and the combination should make for a good video. So we'll see what we find. Hopefully it's a good mix of both species. And the first call is a male fox, very nice. It's about 150 meters away. So what I will do is I will call it here. This is a perfect location. And usually with the foxes or also with coyotes, I move away at least 30 meters. 32 meters has been my number, because that's a safe distance. You can still shoot them with pretty much everything, except of course the recurve will be a bit harder, but with the shotgun it's easy. It's a safe distance to foxes and coyotes, 30 meters, 32 meters even. You can load your guns, you can switch your guns, you can get up on your knees in order to shoot a bow, and mostly they will not detect you. So this is even a bit more now. But you want to lay flat anyway and let them come in, let them settle. What you also need to be aware of is if you call foxes, I mean that is true for any animal, but with the foxes many times you get 2 or even 3 foxes coming. Here in this area in particular where there's so many of them, 3 foxes coming to a call is not really rare. So be patient when the first one comes in, even if you believe it's the one you called. It's always worth waiting a couple more seconds, stick around, see if there's any more of them coming. And then of course you want to take out the heaviest. They come in with a different speed. Sometimes they will trot right away to your call, sometimes they take their time. I'm not sure if that is really just perception, but it feels like the heavier they are, the more careful they are. Sometimes they even call still on the way to your calling location. There it is. And it's a rather small one. I believe it's a cross, but it could also be gray. I usually confuse them. So it looks like he's the only one. I've been hunting with the bow quite a lot lately because every time you shoot a gun, of course, everything will be spooked. Whatever you see on the Hunter mate right now, that map you can consider empty. That part of the map. There's our first fox. 4.3 kilogram for a male fox. That's almost a record for me, I think. That is so light. But anyway, could be any size, of course, and any gender. So our first fox is down 8 minutes into the game. If you're used to your bow, you can shoot a lot of foxes as long as you stay silent. The crossbow is also a very good weapon. You can see a tower coming up on the Hunter mate south of me. That tower is on a hillside, which would make sense in a real situation where you can oversee the area. But here really the tower is too far up, I think. If there are animals down in the open areas, they're almost too far away. Many of them will be out of the rendering distance. So it's not one of those towers you visit frequently. I want to show you the camouflage here. I'm wearing the sneaky 3D fall camouflage, and it's the forest version. There's also a open field version for goose hunting. But the area where we go to, or where we go through, is very dense forest. Most of the time you're covered. There's some open fields that you can avoid, but you can easily be completely covered going through the circle I've showed you at the beginning. Here's a fox, 5 to 10 kilograms, walking ahead of us, about 30 minutes away. So that's not one I should consider following. It's too light. But the 4.3 kilogram I just shot is incredibly small. I don't know what the minimum weight is. The maximum is 15.6 kilograms. This is a red deer going north, but it's a medium size. Not worth going after. Just checking out the track over here. Oh, it's the same fox going south. That was earlier on. In the meantime, he's been moving. He came back and now moving west. I usually walk until I see the border on the hunter mate, because then I can be sure I cover all the area there. If I walked down south now, I would feel like I'm missing something. If the animals are near the border, then I would miss them. And we've got a red deer cow. In most cases it'll be a herd. I don't think they spawn as singular animals. So she is about 150 meters or so away. Should be safe for a tree stand. In some trees they are incredibly high up here. This one is, for example, is not really feasible. So I don't see any other good trees. If you're up there in the crown of the tree, you see pretty much nothing. Okay, so doesn't look like we have any suitable trees. What I'm going to do then is I'll call him over and I'll use the scent spray. I haven't used it before. Let's see if they call back. Yes, it's a new one. Of course, the more they are, the higher the chance for a callback. And this is certainly a hurt. This is not optimal. This one. That's too low. Well, it's fine. I'll put it there. Hopefully I haven't spooked them. If they are within 100 meters, they will run away. So I will apply the scent spray here in the open field. It's a good recurve distance. Let's check if they're still there. No response. It's tricky if you go close to herd, if you mount the tree stand. Then they might be gone. What you can always do is go back to where they called. In case they don't come now, I will still go there, check out the tracks, And then I'll see quickly if there's any stags around. There's goose or geese in the air all the time. That sound will follow you throughout these hunts. There they are. You can only shoot them when you call them down. Goose hunting is a whole different story. Getting a fox call as well. It's again a male from back here. And since the red deer are not around yet, let's call the fox. In the tree stand, I don't have to maintain those 30 meters or so. I'm protected by the stand itself. And while I'm here, I'll call again the red deer. What can happen is that you have red deer, you use the scent spray, and they won't come because the scent spray only reaches 150 meters. If the animal is further away, you have to call it closer. So in this case, the scent did not attract the red deer. They were too far away already, as you could see on the circle. So I'm calling them closer. Even though I called twice already, they're still moving away. That can also have to do with the attraction zones. Animals have a behavior program, so at certain times they will follow certain behavior. They will try to sleep, they will try to eat or drink. And during those times they have quite a fast traveling speed in order to get to their location where they want to go. And they can actually ignore you sometimes. If they idle around, they will almost always come. So I'm looking forward to the little fox here, in the hope it's not so little actually. There it is. That's a decent size. And my spotting level goes up. Not sure if level 12 gives me anything new. But he's really close now. You can see it's a rather big one. 9 meters away from me. He doesn't see me. So let's go with the recurve actually. And the deer don't know anything. Very silent. Not as silent as the Parker, but way more silent than any gunshot will just destroy everything. So these bows are really nice to use for silent kills. Also, I took the risk, in case I would have missed the fox, it would have ran pretty much east. But my deer are supposed to be over here, so it wouldn't have spooked the deer. Which I wonder where they are. They ignore me. If you're patient enough, I mean, you can sit on this tree stand for a while. There will be foxes, there will be red deer, you will also have some roe deer here. Still, they come down here as well. You can have a blast with these. It's a very, very dense area. So they're coming closer now. The first circle was maybe 100 meters from here. The second time they called, they were further away, so you could see the traveling direction. And now, based on the circles I just got, this certainly means they have turned around. They're now much closer again. And all calls have been from females. Of course, we want to see a big stag as well. Finally, here they are. There's no competitions for female red deer, so I don't know even their weight. What's the heaviest? It's maybe 160, 170. But it doesn't really matter because there is no competition or anything for them. There's really a few competitions in the game in total for females, but there's actually one for foxes. So that's quite fun as well. So leveling up on fox tracking is really useful because, like said, their score will be their weight. I only got one cow here. There's certainly two in the area. Well then. Would be interesting to know now if the others are still coming, or if they spooked by this shot. But since they're not there, that's not how far the recurve would spook them. They're not within range, so they're not spooked certainly. So it looks like one turned around and the rest moved on. Okay. And even if they're still there, what I'll do is I go check out the tracks. If there's any near, they will spook now due to the taking down the tree stand, but I don't care now. So this is my fox, a bit heavier than the one before. And also the red deer with a double long shot. The recurve is a fun bow. Shooting it over the distance of 20-25 meters, you can pretty much aim over the arrow and it'll be on target. There's one cow, so it looks like a herd, very normal herd. And we have another male fox. I want to mark that one. It called from about here. So that one I want to see, of course. But what's the matter with these? Okay. I haven't seen a male. We'll do the tree stand again. In this area, in this thick area, a lot of trees. It's hard to find a good spot for shooting them when you need to maintain those 30 meters about. You can be closer, but then you really need to be covered. And until it gets here, I'll check out these. Another cow. Okay. I can hear it somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's another cross or gray. I believe those are cross with those very dark furs. 5 to 10 kilograms. They're not easy to see. Very nice animation. And remember to wait. There might be more. So far it's a fox hunt, not so much a deer hunt. But that's the good thing about the game. You just can never tell what you're gonna see. More female red deer. Yeah, I think we have now found all the tracks from the herd. So I'll walk a bit more east now. Don't want to go all the way down into the corner there. So we've been playing for about an hour in the game, which is half an hour real time. And we got 3 foxes, 1 cow. And now we're going after a good stag. So there's a fox responding to my call. That means no deer is around. This time it's a female. So the idea here is the fox is gonna run over here and it's gonna be north of me while I move south. If I don't call, it's gonna stick around there. Might call a couple more times, but I want to get rid of it really. In fact, I should even spook it. But I don't want to spook it towards the south. So that's the idea here. Here's another female fox, very recent, 2 to 9 minutes. And I'm pretty sure the next track we find here is a fleeing track. It's not the same female as the one that just called, because I only got one red dot. And it said it's a new track. This will almost likely be a fleeing track. There is a new herd over here, which is also close. What you don't want to do here really is running. As you can see, it's a dense area. And I wanted to check if this is a fleeing track from the fox, and of course it is. I'm so close. So we've got a female north of us coming in shortly. We've got a female south of us being on the run. That means the next move will be going east, pretty much away from these. But first we have a bunch of red deer coming. Rather close. These would be too close to risk a tree stand actually. More over here actually, so. There is one cow. This is nice. I've got a good line of sight here. I can check them out. But sometimes by the time the first cow reaches you, the last one from the herd might still be hidden somewhere. Oh, there's one closer. That sounds like a fox more than a... Yeah, it is a fox. More than a red deer. It's a rather heavy female. Maybe coming to my close from before, call from before. Just running by here. Didn't detect me. I'm well covered, even though, as you can see, there's no tree right next to me. And yet they didn't see me. So this fox is calling following my call, if I can say it. This red deer is following my other call. But we haven't seen a good stag or any stag at all yet. What I will do in this situation is lots of foxes around, no signs from a stag. I will just fast travel over here and then move on from there. There's a new herd right at the arrival. Very busy. So what I did is I fast traveled away from the whole situation here. I mean, I have the tent here very close. It's a convenience to have that right here. But otherwise there's too much going on. There's 3 foxes in the area. There are some scattered or spread out red deer. And it's just too difficult there to move around. So we'll check out this call, see if that is a herd, see if there's a bull in there. And then moving along the southern border. That's also a good area for red deer, for foxes. I want to say there's more deer than foxes though. But until I show you one, you won't believe me anyway. So hopefully we'll find our stag here. There's a new track, another good size female fox. Lots of foxes. We've seen a few, we've shot a few, we've seen more tracks. So I think it's rather obvious there's a lot of foxes. So now we should focus more on the red deer here. I think I hear tracks from some that is closer even. Yes, this one. Almost too close. Not ideal. So having good camouflage is really key. If I was just wearing a t-shirt, for example, they might spot me a lot sooner. And I think the fox was a really good example. The fox trotting by me didn't take notice. Wow, I'm in the middle of them. That was not good tactics. If you want to be on the safe side, you call and you move backwards. That's the best. It just takes the longest. I usually call and move forward, which is the most riskiest, the riskiest approach. Where are the stacks? Oh, there's another one coming from a different angle. Might be from a different herd. Another female. Alright, so that's too many females, too few males. She would have ran on top of me or walked on top of me here. If she looks over now, I can just lay flat. She might smell me now. She's testing the air there. And as you can see, that was a nice display. I was too close as far as the scent. She smelled me and ran. Which I'm not unhappy about, because they will certainly not call for a while. I don't want them to call. I want to find my stag. Any of these red deer could be male or female. So it's not like there's certain times or certain areas with more of one gender. The game just spawns red deer, and some of them will be males. Finally, here's the first one. Ooh, back there. Interesting. And most will be females if I can finish my phrase here. And I want to say the fact that he is still there, while there were just a lot of females spooking, and this guy is still there. I want to say it's a small stack. Every high scoring animal is going to be a lot more sensitive towards anything weird going on. But these are still there. So we can finally have a look at some antlers. And just like I guessed, it's a small one. He didn't bother with the spookers there. So we'll look at it and we'll leave it alone. Actually, I will spook it as well. Get rid of it. There they go. And I can look for a bigger one. There are no two stacks in one herd. If you have two stacks on the same spot, that's just coincidence, because you called and they came from different angles. They could be single stacks, they could be stacks from a herd, but it's not going to be the same herd. So my call from the tent or around the tent there actually brought in at least two different herds. So many red deer, so many foxes, but a big one is still missing. This is another new track from a fox very close, as the circle shows. I tell you, this is fox and red deer country. Really nice. But it's very difficult to hunt because of all the vegetation. It's not always easy to find a good ambushing location. The best is always if you have a little hill and you can move to the opposite end. But many times it's very dense vegetation, not easy to call them in. And all the time we have the geese. There they are. And if you feel they are annoying, the very best thing to do is go hunt them. Set up a goose location with a blind and with decoys and start hunting them, and you will enjoy them. That's what I did with the turkeys. They were so annoying at first, and one day I decided I'm going to hunt them, and ever since they are fun. It's been a while since the last call from any animal. Again, I would expect a call soon. There it is. It's a female fox. We've seen tracks from it, so that's not a new one. I will leave it alone. Again, you could use the tactics to call it up here and spook it that way because you were walking. But as we've seen, there's so many animals around. Calling that might also call others. Haven't seen any tracks here lately to check out. Of course, a call coming from the north would be very ideal, of course. As you can see on the Hunter Mate, the bright patches there, those are all open fields. That's perfect to go and check out the herd very quickly. You can very quickly tell if there is a stag and if it's a good stag, and you can move on. No red deer responding. So we might get another call from that female fox. Before we get out of range. So the danger of blind calls is if animals will now walk to you and they didn't respond vocally. So you actually don't know they're there and they will start walking to you and you will spook them. That's a bit the danger of blind calls. But if you call animals like elk or red deer, because they travel in herds so much, the chances for one of them to call back is rather high. If you blind call a moose, the chance is a lot smaller because many times they are on their own. They might not call back and you will not know they are there. I'll take another chance here. More foxes. And she's straight ahead of me, which is about the worst situation. Because I cannot just keep walking. I will spook that fox for sure. And I don't know what else I'm going to spook, which is not the idea. So I will call her over here and just walk by. Again, having in mind, could be multiple foxes coming. So here I'm again in the open. Oh, actually no, this time I have no coverage. It's the first time I see the gray. Vegetation is less dense here, so that makes sense. I'll wait for the fox to come, I'll spook it so it doesn't call anymore, and then I'll move on. She doesn't come, which could mean I've spooked her already. Now I hear steps. No trail. Ooh, 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 ooh. There's a male behind me. That's not good. Get the shotgun ready. He's coming in right behind me. And I see nothing. And now it's spooked. Did you hear that noise? It's new in the game since a few months, or I don't know how long, but you can tell it's spooked by just that noise. And I can maybe go check out the track. My female, however, doesn't know anything about it. She might be there now. So that's what I mean with calling. You just never know what's coming. Lots of foxes here. And lots of mushroom. I just have some lagging now, which should mean animals in the area. Maybe a couple more foxes. So let's look at the weight of this one. 10 to 15 kilogram. I missed a good one. So this is worth going after, I would say. We'll chase this one down. That's worth it. It's too bad we didn't see it, but that's the risk of calling. And going after a fox is very difficult because you follow the tracks, they say fleeing, 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 and all of a sudden you have one that says roaming and you got a very small circle. So it means it's running and then it stops, stands around, walks very slowly, and because you go after it too quickly, or if you do that, then you will spook again. You will spook that fox again, so you need to glass a lot. There will be 5, 6 fleeing tracks, but then it's really right there in front of you. There we go. Now what? Look at the stag or look at the fox? Actually, this is good. So we can give the fox some time to calm down. And we will look at the stag first. If I can manage to shoot it with the recurve, I can then follow the fox and should soon find it. That's what we'll do. Perfect. I'm usually not patient, but this stag now forces me to be patient. It forces me to wait with the fox for a while, which will give it enough time to calm down. That's a nice size. Scoring up to 240. It's actually that size that usually blends you, makes you believe it's really a nice core, but I think it's gonna score just above 200. And this is actually the maximum size that should be in the game. I mean, this is massive already, but the really big scores are just too large if you ask me. So I will use Send Eliminator. That's not it. And then try a shot with the recurve. Protection should be alright here. Should be, it isn't. So I have to shoot fast when I get up. There it is, and I have to shoot right away. There it goes. It was already sticking the nose in the air. I don't know if you noticed. And that is a sign for that it smells you. So here's our first stack down. I estimated 200 roughly and 213, 13. It's about right. So nice stack here. We'll go after this fox now. And then I believe we've seen plenty of animals here. And we'll move on to the mountains. That's our female that called. 0 to 5 kilograms. Very small female. And hopefully this is our 10 to 15 kilogram male. It's been a while for it since it ran, so it might call soon. Ideally now when I find the roaming tracks, it might not have a circle or a large circle. It certainly won't be a very small circle. But of course what can happen is once an animal calms down, it'll start roaming again, it'll forget about you. And many times, oftentimes they turn around and walk straight towards you and you spook it again, but what can you do? You still have to go after it. And we're moving towards the road here, which is good. The road is an open area. Also after the road there's some open meadows. And you get wild boars really in the later time of a hunt. So we've been hunting since 8, so that's 2 hours in the game. The wild boars have moved down here. I didn't even consider them at all. So I don't have a collar or anything. And we can see the solid circle. That's almost ideal. The fox might come when I call it. It might be calm enough. So that's what I'll do. Just measure, what is that? If I'm on top of that hill, I should be safe. Worst case will be it hasn't calmed down all the way. It might still be nervous for a couple more minutes. Then I will have wasted a few minutes waiting here. And when I go after it the next time, I can certainly call it in. Just don't walk or run. Keep crouched at all times. I will move backward. Keep the safety distance and then just wait. Okay, so I've waited a few minutes already. No fox anywhere. But a roe deer. So I want to make sure I don't lose my fox. Should be right here. There it is. The fox is not coming. And I want to get rid of this roe deer. So now I have a lot of animals in the area. The boars will likely not be on their own. There will be a few of those. There's now this roe deer. So the chance for my fox to call is getting smaller and smaller. And that's why I want to take out the roe deer. Hopefully I hit some vitals. Okay, so that should be taken care of. Now the fox track will say it's out of reach. Right here, so it ran towards the wild boars, which I haven't heard in a while. There's another track over there. Is that a fleeing track then? Very nice. We have a red deer stag. What is this? No, he's still in the area. Now what do I do? Fox or red deer? Of course we'll look at the red deer. Very busy place here, I can tell you. You need to be stealthy. You need good camouflage. Ah, here it's fleeing. I'm wondering if that was my recurve bow shot. It's actually further away. I don't know. Something spooked it. Could have been a Another animal that spooked it, or I don't know. That's why it wasn't coming. But again, it's been a while. We'll catch up with it. It'll become rather soon. So we have some time also to look at the red deer stag. If this is a large stag, this is almost suicide here in the open. There's a border very close here in the south. So even if the fox runs far, it'll bounce off that border. It can't get away. So we should see it soon. But I want to see this stag here, of course, as well. There it is. Small size. Just spooked. I might not be covered here, I don't know. So it saw me and spooked. Couldn't care less, it's not worth it. That guy is fleeing far. So now that the red deer is gone, I would hope for the fox to call. Here's the pigs. So before I confirm this track, I want to see my fox, which is back there. Now I confirm it. The most common pattern is 3 females and 2 males for wild boars here at Hirchfelden. Well, they don't exist anywhere else. So here's the second male. We'll pick up the fox again. I've seen them all. 2 or 3 females, 2 males. With the wild boars, anything above 200 kilograms will be a good one. The maximum weight is also 240, very same as the red deer. So that's easy to remember. That sounds like a new herd with a potential new stag. We might be able to see them. No. Oh well. We'll never get this fox if we keep shooting deer. And the fact that there's red deer again in the area will mean again the fox is not gonna call as I was hoping. There it is. I believe that's him. So there's still a goose blind there. But it isn't really a cover. I'll call the fox and then here it should be easy. Of course I'm assuming that is him. We've seen so many here. But we'll know in a minute when we spot it. Hasn't turned around quite yet. Keeps going. Come on. I also need to check my scent eliminator. Yeah, still active. What does the fox do? Now he seems to turn. I'll just keep going. I have the shotgun. So when he comes close enough, That should be it. Wow. Looks like it's gonna score in the 30s. There's not too many of those. So that's a good size fox to conclude this hunt here. How close is it? Yeah, that'll do. Finally got him. "14 kilograms, over 30 points. It's a very good size fox. I usually move them away from the blood. So really good size fox to conclude this hunt here. Hirchfelden is a great place. There we go. And let's move on to Val-des-Bois. And here we are at the western wing of the map of Val-des-Bois. Let's dive right in. This is the tent. I'm gonna go down here towards the river, and just in this area there's going to be a lot of red deer and red foxes. You will also find European rabbits and brown bear, but since these don't call, it's very easy to find the deer and foxes. So like said, the first call will be from a fox or red deer. Mostly it's foxes that call first. There you go. In this case it's a female fox. And here, as opposed to Hirschfelden, the area is rather open. I'm still protected near trees, but I have a lot of open places, open fields that work well for calling the animals. And waiting for the animals, you can see them come in. There's the fox. Now I have to find a good place here. So like said, the first call will be one of these two animals. Ibex is there over there in the mountains, but this is out of reach. So any sounds from them you will not hear when you start right here at the border. And then roe deer, you can find them here really rarely in a later time of the hunt. If you have been hunting for an hour or two, maybe they come up here, but they do not spawn here. So I'll lay flat on this rock here. Again, maintaining my safety distance of 32 meters at least. .32 is a good number because you can still aim with the 30-meter pin. With the bow sight of the Parker Python, you can use the 30-meter pin. I'm going to shoot this one with the crossbow, which has a 30-meter dot on the scope. So that still works nice. I'm north of the animal. I'm not worried about any scent that I may transfer to the animal. No protection over here, but I'll be fine. So she's going to come in, and potentially others. Always be aware of that. There she is at 30 meters pretty much. So the pins on the crossbow reticle there, or the dots I should rather say, are 10, 20, 30 and 40 meters. Anything beyond that, you can still shoot animals, turkeys or even large game you can still shoot, but then you'll have to estimate. So our first fox is already down. I could barely start and there was a first call. Many times from here I start running, just looking for tracks, because again the fox is scored by its weight, so you can just look for large foxes by looking at the tracks. But then you will spook the bears, you will spook the red deer. So we'll walk a little, we might run a little bit in between. We can test if there's any red deer up here already. Really good area also for European rabbit hunting. You will always have a burrow. By the time you get to the river, you will have found at least one. Just zigzag all the way down. Another female, we won't bother with that. But this is a narrow channel here. They can't get away, so she might be calling soon herself. I've switched to the summer camo, of course. This is a summer map, so I'm using the summer camouflage. There she is. So she walked over to the border, bounced off, and now went south. I'm going to call her to here. And then walk around her pretty much. So the plan is I want to lure her up here, but want to go past her, so I'm south of her. And I don't have to bother with her anymore. Alternatively, I could take her out with the crossbow. But that takes a bit longer. There's a certain danger though. As long as you're moving, the animals will see you from a lot further away. And it's pretty flat here too, so she might see me even. And we have red deer. So we got rid of the fox, and now I'm gonna look at the red deer from the southern side as well. I will need the scent eliminator this time, because I'm actually pretty much moving into the wind for them. I'm gonna be upwind of them, so that's a bit more dangerous, but if there isn't anything that's worth shooting, I will just chase them north. That's always should always be part of your tactics when you approach animals. Don't just think how you want to shoot them, but also what's going to happen after the shot. That's just one single cow there, or what? She appears to be alone. Okay, well then. Now here we have a few tracks. Could be rabbits or deer. Yeah, we found some rabbits. This is a new fox, 5 to 15. This is another fox, 5 to 15. So the red deer cow will now run north. The good thing about them spooking, of course, is they stop calling. So that gives the chance to other animals you haven't seen yet or heard yet, so they can call. This is one of those 5 to 15 kilogram foxes. There's a tournament going for crossbows, but it's at 5 to 15. I'm gonna use the same trick here. It's at 5 to 15 kilograms. The maximum they will reach really is maybe 13 kilograms. Maybe something a little bit above that, but it's not gonna be enough for a tournament winner. So I'm calling this guy as well, and I will move a bit more over here and then south again. You can see a lot of animals, a lot of tracks this way. Of course, if you want to enjoy the game, just hunting animals, shooting them, you can take these out. If you're after larger ones, for example, now I would like to see a good sized stag, then you can gain some time by just controlling them in a certain way, lure them to a certain place and just move on. So here is a stag, medium size. And this is likely the cow from before. 46 minutes. .40 minutes, so they have probably been together. So had I waited a bit longer, I might have seen a stag as well. The good thing about this narrow corridor here is if you miss an animal, you find a track, you will quickly find it again. They all move within this narrow area. You will quickly find them again. So had this stag been a large one, I would have gone just back to find it. There it is. So he's on his own, they separated. What I usually do is I click away the hunter mate. I just equip something else, and the emerging circles stay on the hunter mate for a while. So I don't have to set a red dot. Even after minutes, if you pull the hunter mate out, the circles will continue to emerge until the timer goes off. So when I look now, you can still see the circles. Now they're gone. So I'm expecting a smaller rack here. Yeah, that's about it. About 20 meters away. Trying a hard shot. Because the red deer competition that is ongoing requires hard shots. Let's see. So I hit the heart. It's interesting with the bows, it's easier. With the crossbow, with the python, somehow it's easier to hit the heart. But in a competition, it's better if you really aim well with the scope. So I've brought the shotgun for these. In case a large one shows up. Here comes the next red deer. No, that's a new track, but she is north. What's interesting is there was one single rabbit track. The burrows can be on the very left and right edges of this corridor. You can really walk all the way over to the border. Sometimes they're right there. So if you find the track, walk around until you find the burrows. It will be there. There will not be any rabbits without any rabbit holes. And I'll try to move away from these cows. Few foxes already around, few red deer as well. I picked 6 o'clock. It's a good time to start here. But I have to admit I do not know the feeding time or the sleeping time of the red deer. I do not know the feeding time of red fox. I don't think the feeding time matters, but the sleeping time does. So when they sleep, you might miss a call. Actually, the other day, I think I saw a red deer sleep between 11 and 12. New fox, new luck. It's a male, worth looking at. So there's 2 ways now if you wanna check it out. Of course you can call it and then shoot it, or if you're in a tournament, if you wanna see many foxes, just go where it called and just read the track. Many times it will have been a small one. It doesn't matter. In case it was a big one, you can still follow it. You will gain more time. You will see many more foxes if you don't bother calling everyone in to check it out. But here, for the sake of this video, I'll call this one as well. But like I said, in a tournament, I would just run to the track, no matter what it is. Just run to the track and read it. And if it was really a big one, 9 out of 10 times it won't be, or even less. And once it is actually a big one, I will follow it. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm even protected. You might think you're in an open area here, but as soon as you have a few trees around you, it's worth checking if the camouflage works, and it does here, even though I'm open on this rock here. I'm hitting the G key, by the way. G like games. I have the lane bandit, the bust through, and I have the camo view. So go up, click the mouse. I'm wearing jacket, pants, gloves, and boots from the summer camo, and some non-camo hat. With G, you exit it again. Shout if you see the fox. Some take very long. There it is, and it's not orange, it's a gray. Yeah, this is gray. I think I can distinguish them now. "25" is between the second and the third dot. I hear no trotting or walking, so I'll pick this one up. This is a fun area for fox hunting. Also because of the terrain. Oh, there's a rabbit running. Not gonna shoot it with slugs. And there, right there's the hole. Actually, what happens is many times rabbits will run to the holes when you show up. So we might have a few running to the holes. .5 kilograms is the maximum. There they come! So whenever you see a burrow, be ready with the shotgun. If you've been running, they will have ran to the holes already. If you've been walking or even crouching, you can surprise them. And they run for the holes and you can shoot them all. Here we have our first bear. Always read 3 tracks of them to increase your tracking skill faster. And then we're out of the rabbits. So we're slowly moving towards the river. We've shot 2 foxes and 1 red deer. I would like to shoot another one. Oh, we've shot a rabbit, of course, as well. The area is really beautiful here in the morning, with the sun just coming up behind the mountains. There's a few tracks coming up here. New fox. I don't know if you can see that, but those paws look so tiny. Can you see that? That is because it's a tiny fox. Hopefully we can see a larger one. There's really a difference in the paw size between larger and smaller animals. But you have to be careful. If the paws are printed on a hillside, they're basically printed vertically onto the map, onto the texture here. So on a hillside it can confuse you or trick you. They look larger, but on flat ground you can count on it. Large paws means large animals. The challenge with early morning hunts, of course, is the view. Hard to see anything from further away, like this. And that sounds great. The deer roars in the valley. On the opposite side of that lake, again checking the camo, and I'm pretty good here. Well, there's no pretty good. It's either good or bad. And here it works. So the deer will likely walk around here. Unless it has got a boat. There it is. Good looking rack. Scoring is going to be somewhere with 200. So this is the rack I would like to see as the maximum rack, really. It's large already. But anyway, so moving behind the tree. But I'll be careful now. I'll shoot this one with slugs or with a slug. Alrighty. So hopefully I was able to show you this area to make you like this area for foxes, for red deer. You can shoot a bunny on the side. Here is our deer. Scoring 200. And like I said, hopefully you like this area as much as I do. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed, never got annoyed. Thank you very much. Stay in touch.